Call the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We'll start with the roll call. Mayor Lindsay. Mayor Pro Tem Howell,
Here.
Councilor Weeks. Councilor Hubbard,
Here.
Councilor Crane.
Here.
We have a quorum. You may
Thank
proceed.
you. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Second. All in favor? Need a motion to approve the consent agenda for the August 27, 24 minutes. And the discussion action to approve lodger's tax reimbursement.
Make a motion for approval of the consent agenda to include the August 27, 2024 minutes and discussion action, approve lodger's tax reimbursement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any requests from the audience?
None, sir. Yep. Oh,
Is it the 3 minutes?
well, none on the list.
Oh, can I?
It's at the mayor pro tem's discretion.
All right,
Okay,
We put your name on the list.
okay.
write your name down and
Okay.
next time, please sign up.
Oh, I didn't know there was a sign up.
Yeah. You got 3 minutes.
All right. Okay, so since last time I was here, the town did put an offer on the property that I was interested in. And the sellers decided to, respond to that offer, which I don't have a problem with. The concern I have is that Zeb's is so close, and if we're gonna be bringing in, we say low income, I don't know what you call it exactly, affordable housing, if people are suffering from inability for proper judgment, and they're gonna go walk over to Zeb's, get drunk, drive out in our streets in the snow, crash into someone and kill them, that's something I'm very concerned about. And that's something I want the city to address if we're gonna put people into these low income housing, that's something I really want addressed. And I'm saying it now, where's the camera? Looking in the camera. I will bring a legal suit against the city if the city does not decide to take precautions about this very serious thing. I have a young child, people get drunk, it's very dangerous, and I'm serious about that. So the good thing is that I walked the property, the 15 acres behind that parcel. And I think the village has a good opportunity to develop that for the benefit of the budget. It seems that it's gonna be possible to purchase that, develop it, and then have more money after. So we can put as many homes or as little as possible. Traffic is always a concern. I lived in Park City, Utah for a long time, and traffic was always a big thing there, bringing in more people, and then the traffic happens. So that's, if you can't stock it with tons of housing, which is possible because the zoning allows for lots of dwellings on there. But it's a really good opportunity. I'm backing off of it. I encourage the village to acquire the property behind and then work with David Nudell, who owns the property on top, to, in a friendly manner, to work on all that property, and there could be a lot of good housing, and that's it. I am very serious about my concern about Zeb's being so close and the people lacking appropriate, especially if they're young, judgment. So that's all I have to say. I'd be happy to support the village to develop all that property, and it could be really a very positive thing. So I'm trying to be positive, but I am very concerned about that. So that's it.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry, I didn't ask you to state your name.
Adam Warshower.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
All right, any comments from council? All right. Staff reports.
Okay.
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, councilors, Manager Weir, guests.
Before you, you should have a report from the Angel Fire Police Department on our monthly recap for August as compared to July of 2024. July was a very busy month for the police department. August, our call volume dropped down to a total of 129. We initiated 75 instance or CFS reports. We generated 5 warrants. There were 3 arrests. There were 4 crashes. Total of 13 citations for traffic and 6 non-traffic citations issued. Updates. The resolution that I brought forward in July for the no parking signs along 434 between North Angel Fire Road, or more or less Frontier Park, and South Angel Fire Road on that stretch of unlighted highway have been installed. I think they did a good job of repurposing some of the signposts and didn't add anything too gaudy to that area, but I think it's definitely gonna help us with large events at the park and right in the area of the crosswalk at North Angel Fire Road. So I'm happy that we were able to work with DOT and get that accomplished pretty quickly.
Yeah.
On a state government level anyway. I wanted to announce that Officer James Hott has been hired. He is in his completing his 2nd week of orientation training. He is a certified officer and is moving along very quickly. I think he'll be on his own probably as early as next week. And then we brought Richard Sanchez. It's not on here, but he actually started Monday. I apologize, it's not on here. I had to get this submitted to Rocky in advance.
Thank you.
He started on Monday and we've got him in uniform. He started his orientation and training. He is also a certified officer. So we're excited to have those 2 additions to the police department. As far as the Angel Fire Police Department policy review and updates, I've completed that. It's submitted to Tammy and it's at her level of review. There was only very, very minor changes made to that. I gotta say, the chief before the last chief, so Brad McCaslin, did an outstanding job developing that policy. Only a few little minor tweaks and changes, identifying the lapel cameras that we use now instead of the Axon cameras that they used then. Identifying the department issued sidearms, handguns to be a Smith & Wesson instead of a Glock, which was what was issued. So very minor little tweaks here and there. I did open the uniform guidance a little bit, just so you know. If we have certain special events, this is our standard uniform and it will remain so. The patches, the badge, none of that's changing. But I did include that we would, for certain special events, be allowed to wear a white dress uniform shirt with black tie for processions, funerals, and those kind of things. So I'm pretty happy about that policy being such a good start. It made it much easier for me. No words on the TRACS, and TRACS stands for Traffic and Criminal Solutions. That is a program that's provided to us free of charge, at no cost, by the state of New Mexico Department of Public Safety. We will be transitioning into that to do crash reports and citation and so forth. The nice thing about TRACS is it's a statewide system. So once we are approved users and entering data into that, we will have access to the entire state database that utilizes TRACS instead of just what we have in our RMS system here in Angel Fire. And it's free, so you can't beat the price. And it's what many agencies around the state have transitioned to. It's a good program. The LPRs, which is license plate readers, we're still awaiting approval for the installation. The contract with Flock Safety has been initiated, purchase order cut. I set up my user's account with them today as an administrator. They're simply waiting on DOT approval because they are going to be in right away on the State Highway 434. So that's moving along very nicely. And this one I'm pretty excited about, the ROHV use on 434. It is on track. The DOT application is mostly done. I was only waiting on a couple of things, and that being the Colfax County resolution and then a meeting with DOT out of District 4 here for the site plan, walkthrough, drive-through, whatever we want to call it. I'm very happy to announce that I attended the Colfax County Commissioners meeting this morning. And I testified on behalf of the village and why we are asking for this initiative to allow ROHVs on a 7-mile stretch of 434, and it did pass. So we will have that resolution to go along with our resolution, as well as the ordinance, and then the completed application pack, which there's 9 steps in the application beyond the resolution. So I've got a little more work to get done on that. They're asking for things like crash data for ROVs, citation enforcement problems and so forth, as well as the road design, construction, speed limits. All of that's pretty easy. I just have to get it compiled and then submitted. The last thing, and again, it's not on here because this just happened, but we partnered with the chaplains group here in the Moreno Valley. We have 7 chaplains that are available to assist, mostly traditionally assist first responders after a difficult call, for mental health and other reasons. But we took this to a next step, and I presented to them to see if they would be interested in becoming crime victim or domestic violence advocates to assist us either at the scene or after an investigation with crime victims that are in need of services, transportation, filling out protection orders, and getting those submitted into Raton District Court, which, as you know, is 85 miles away. Several moving parts went into that, and the chief district judge, as well as the seating district judge Romero out of Raton, did approve us to be able to now electronically submit those. So they can be emailed into the court, assigned a court number. It speeds that process up a whole lot, and we don't have to travel 80+ miles each direction, or the victim doesn't have to for that. So I'm really excited that initiative came together. Last week, we met with the chaplains, provided them the training on how to fill out the order of protection forms and then how to submit them. They're pretty excited to be included in the police department, and I'm very excited to have them on board as a partnering resource that we didn't have in the valley before. Prior to this, the only advocate available for crime victims or domestic violence victims was out of Raton. So we now have 7 trained and qualified advocates here in the valley that are available to us at one phone call. So that's it. I stand for any questions.
Just real quick, the ROHV, and I know there's a lot of steps, 9 more to go, but
Yeah.
rough timeline on if things go well, when we'd expect to be ready to implement something.
I want to see this implemented before next summer.
Okay.
In the spring, late spring, Memorial Weekend is my goal. I can't promise you that's gonna happen, but that's where I've set my sights. Now, we still have to submit the application, and DOT has to do their review and write a letter of support. And then it goes to the final step, which is the Traffic Safety Commission, and they only meet quarterly. And I believe they meet in late January. I'm shooting to have it in front of them in January.
The only other question I had, you and I had talked separately, there was some radio tower work that needed to get done, and winter's not here yet, but coming. Is that process still moving forward, or are we waiting on?
I don't want to steal any of Chief Vance's thunder here, but we've been working very closely on this. By the way, great man, great resource. We're lucky to have him here in the village. We've contracted and got quotes from Spectracom, which is owned by Brian Williams. We're going to move the digital repeater from Iron Mountain, which is located just north of Eagle Nest, which creates such a distance for the first responders and fire units in Black Lake. It doesn't work very well for them. And we're gonna relocate that to the Aspen water tank. It's gonna go initially on the ladder at the top of the tank. We think that we did a coverage site, Brian did a coverage site mapping from up there. And I think it's gonna have much, much better coverage throughout the valley and south, as well as back into Eagle Nest. We don't have that right now. We are going to retain our analog frequencies that are currently located on the tower up on the resort. Those will be our backups, if you will. And then going forward, we have a grant that doesn't expire until 2027 for $100,000 for a radio tower. The site coverage works good up there. Our intent is to move forward in having a standalone tower up there. That Aspen water tank site works really well because it already has power, it has cellular, and it has fiber. So transmitting from Red River Dispatch will come over fiber and repeat over the digital channel throughout the valley. So we're pretty excited to get that in place because we have a real deficiency with our radio channels right now for fire, EMS. Public Works doesn't even have one. They will have one off of that Aspen tank and it will be digital. Counselor, there will be some cost incurred to this once the police department transitions to it, because currently only 3 of my vehicles have radios that are digital compatible, and we have no handheld radios that are digital compatible. That price, I don't have a firm number on it, but I think the handheld radios are gonna run around $1,200 a piece. The digital capable mobile radios that go in a vehicle, I think are about $1,700 or $1,800 a piece.
Is that something I know Municipal League will help with police equipment, but I don't know if radios fall in their scope or not.
I haven't seen anything for the radios yet, but they're always throwing new things out there. Right now, we're working with Rocky for a grant for our replacement lapel cameras for the next gen of the lens lock, and they're gonna pay for all the hardware for that. So, yeah, Municipal League's really been coming through the last several years. As has the Association of Counties as far as that.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Anything else?
Yes, Mayor.
So I just want to say at this point, it's not on the agenda, but I will tell you that throughout New Mexico, there is a challenge in hiring police officers. We're experiencing at the county level, they're experiencing it in eastern municipalities that I'm aware of in this area. And we were experiencing it up until we brought on Chief Hogarth. And he has connections. This guy knows people and people know him. And you know, where we had a position open prior to Chief Hogarth that had little to no applications. As soon as he became chief, we had 5 applicants for the same job, 6 applicants for the same job. So I just wanted to give him a little bit of recognition for bringing that with him to help serve Angel Fire.
Thank you for those kind words, manager, and of those people that I know and am connected with, some of them even like me.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Any other staff reports?
Hi, Mayor Pro Tem, Council Member, Manager here. I don't have a big long list, but our fourth quarter report did get accepted and approved by the state as well as our final budget. So we're moving forward and it's submitted on time, so. And then Audrey and I got our certification through New Mexico Edge as a public finance professional certification. We both completed those courses. So.
Well, thank you for doing that. Nice.
Good job.
Thank you. All right, Chief.
Members of the council, Manager Weir, and guests, good evening, how y'all doing?
Okay.
I'll start off by saying, Angel Fire Department ran 44 calls, in the month of August. 29 of those were EMS calls. 15 of those were fire calls. The majority of the fire calls are, of course, alarm activations, mostly false alarms. 5 of those 29 EMS calls were in Eagle Nest. We had 2 medevacs this past month, 2 DOA, unfortunately, and 3 simultaneous call, meaning we had units out and then had another call come in at the same time. So just to give you a little perspective on that. Any questions on any of those? Our slash program has received 2,900 cubic yards, estimated, all eliminated in ACI burner and pile burns. We picked up an additional 725 cubic yards and donated approximately 250 cubic yards of wood chips to the community. Our wildland team was deployed in Spokane, Washington for 2 back-to-back 14-day deployments. We did have a little bit of fire engine fuel delivery issues and had to get that unit repaired while it was there, but we were still able to keep all the firefighters active and on the fire line, helping them out in Spokane. The Fire Adapted Community Ambassador Coordinator, I'm pleased to announce that we had 5 very well qualified applicants for that position. We conducted interviews last Wednesday, and we decided to extend an offer to Miss Lindsay Reed out of Albuquerque. She comes with a very unique education background and skill set, and I think she's going to be an asset to the community to bridge the gap between fire department and the community, and hopefully improve our ISO rating and improve our slash program altogether that we're modeling after things that are being done in Ruidoso. Any questions so far? We've made some progress. Her start date, by the way, is October 7th. We are making progress on a new fire station 1, large in part to the assistance and guidance of Manager Weir and a lot of help by Rocky. We were able to satisfy the phase 1 extension for the initial $400,000 that was awarded to the Village of Angel Fire towards the building of a new fire station. And we're able to submit a successful application to an additional $600,000 grant to the from the Fire Protection Fund. We did get a lot survey on the lot just south of here. We did decide on a final location. This is going to be the empty lot just south of this location. And we've made connections with an architect in Albuquerque that has met all procurement requirements. So we're moving forward with design phases for those. We have hired an additional 2 PRN EMT firefighters and an additional 1 paramedic for PRN shifts. I'm happy to say that we now have 2 people 24/7, 365. We're staffed as far as that goes. Our goal is ultimately to get 4 people on staff 24/7, 365. We now have a complete A shift, B shift, and C shift. As you know, they work 48 hours on, they're off for 96. They work 2 days on, they're off 4 days off. We also have had a resurgence of volunteers in the community. We're looking forward to bringing some people back who have been once volunteers and now are interested in volunteering again. We're working hard in the background to make sure that we set up all of that. The logistics of getting them trained, including them in training and working alongside other agencies around us to make sure that we're all qualified and all trained. That's all I have. Any questions?
So 600,000,
Yes, sir.
is that just submitted or has that been approved?
Application has been submitted. It has not been awarded. We have not received word which departments were awarded that 600,000.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. Any other staff? Yes.
Yes, sir. It's my turn this council meeting also. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Al, council, work manager. I want to give an update on progress we've made on the roads. As I've stated before, we had some significant challenges with the real heavy rains that we got. We still have some issues out there that need to be addressed, but I felt that we were on top of things enough to start rolling on some projects. As you know, we awarded a contract to Kai Construction to spread base course supplied to 4 designated roads. The work started on, Sierra Blanca and Sierra Blanca Circle on Friday. They got finished hauling the bulk of the material today. So, 3 days of hauling, we have a mile of road covered with base course. It'll still need to be worked, compaction standards met, so forth and so on. But we're moving some material. We will be starting, soon, probably day after tomorrow on El Camino Real. It's gonna be challenging with the traffic level that's on that road. We'll have active traffic control in place, and we'll ask the public to be patient. We're currently running 12 belly dumps delivering material to this job and to our staff as well. Our staff is currently working on Camino Real and Luna. A road that hasn't had base course put on it in quite some time and received some significant damage over the years. It's coming together really nice. Prior to that, and prior to Kite Construction starting on our project, he had trucks in town, so we put them to work hauling base course. We were able to cover Lower Saracen Terrace. All these roads were in dire need of material. Oakwood Terrace, Wingfoot Way, Meadowbrook, Columbine Terrace, Martinez Terrace, and various areas of spot work in that zone south of the country club. One challenge that we have in running a number of trucks like this is the amount of dust that it's generating. We will be taking care of off-job dust control. Just so everybody knows, the haul route for El Camino Real that we feel is gonna be the most safe is to go up El Camino Real and utilize U Valley Drive on the way down. So I'll actively have water truck going down close to your home. Because there's already a significant amount of dust. It's amazing how quick our country dries out. Just from normal traffic, the dust is pretty extreme. It's gonna get worse when we run belly dumps through there, but we'll have our water truck managing that and try to keep the dust controlled around homes as best as possible. Again, would ask the public to be patient, and when all goes well, we can cover, as we've proven, a mile of road in 3 days. Okay, the bad thing about running so many trucks, it creates traffic issues, it creates a lot of dust. The great thing is we get it done and over with quick. Okay. It's going very well. The material is proving to be working very well, and areas that we've done come together pretty nice. I want it to be understood in all the discussion of how roads are prioritized and what we're going to do first. A lot of what we've been doing with our staff is focusing on the roads where one of the main criteria for the decision leading towards doing these roads is the fact that some of them haven't had base course put on them in decades. And I'm not exaggerating. Some of them had no base course on them whatsoever. We're down to raw earth. We're getting a lot of those areas. I feel that in doing Columbine Terrace, that we were able to address one of our last areas that I deemed primitive. Okay, is the best way I can put it. But it came together really nice. Are there any questions about roads? We'll move on to other departments.
What was the depth of the gravel that you put in the last 3 days or so?
6 inches.
6 inches.
Yes, sir. There will be some areas that may be slightly more where we feel like we need more contour in the road or something. I really didn't want to make those adjustments with subgrade, as some of the conditions we have in these roads that over time have lost all their base course. The utilities are very, very shallow, and we could risk damaging those utilities. But it's a minimum of 6 inches compacted depth, and before an invoice is paid, depth will be verified, and passing compaction test will be required before an invoice is paid as well. And now, obviously, as the contractor has brought in these trucks, our gravel supplier to supply this material, they're, going from Sierra Blanca over to El Camino Real. There's going to be a period where we may not be totally where we want to be on compaction. But also having those trucks, many of them came in from out of town, we wanna keep them rolling while they're here. So what this may lead to is there may be spots on the road where the material seems a little loose. It's something we're gonna have to deal with till we can, get the compaction addressed. I'm confident with this material, it's compacting real well. And the truck traffic itself does a tremendous amount of compaction on this material. So, I'll keep you updated on the progress of those projects.
Is there enough gravel to meet all of our needs?
Yes, sir. For the projects that we have in place right now, we have a pricing agreement that equates to, on the high end, if, not including long hauling, additional charges, in the range of 70,000 tons that we have budget for right now. Given the fact that we are buying this material and having it trucked directly to where it's needed as opposed to handling it multiple times. It's worth it to have that added cost of having them just truck it, and we can work at a much bigger, faster pace than we can with just our trucks. It's proven to work out really well. Now, after completing, Camino Real and Luna with our in-staff, in-house crew, I really want to start focusing on what I'll refer to as spot work. We've got a good number of roads out there that a good portion of it is good, but has a few bad spots here and there. And we want to go and we want to fix that spot work in-house. And the ultimate goal is to go into the winter this year with the roads as smooth as they can be. It's going to make us more efficient on snow removal. It's going to drastically cut down on our equipment damage. When I took this job in the middle of the winter, I found some of the roads were very, very difficult to plow. Not just on the truck and the driver, but difficult to plow properly, to get enough snow and hopefully prevent, we're always gonna have ice buildup, we're in the mountains. But we can be a lot more productive at 15 miles an hour in a plow truck than we are at 5 miles an hour. That's simple math. Okay, so on to water. The installation of the SCADA system on the east side is going well and almost complete. We did have an incident just over 2 weeks ago with tank 3. Had we had the SCADA in place at that time, things would have gone a whole lot better. Essentially, what happened was the booster pump at tank number 3. It didn't fail, but it didn't work. Okay, it tripped and didn't work. What this led to is tank number 6 running dry. And without SCADA, we didn't know pumps at tank 6 were running, or the pump. So the pump burned out. Okay. Got the pumps going again, had backup pumps, so forth and so on. But this situation, again, exposes a great vulnerability on the east side of our village in our water system, in that when there's a failure down low on the line, it took 2 weeks to recover the tanks all the way up to the hill. For the first week, we were maintaining inches of water in the tanks. And this was including Labor Day weekend, okay? It has since recovered. Some good work by Evan Archuleta, our field supervisor with water department. You see, each one of our booster stations are constructed and built to have 2 pumps. They have traditionally only had 1 pump operating. For various reasons, we've not had the availability of 2 pumps. This affected our ability to, we've got a lot of water at tank 3, because that's where a 1 million gallon tank is too. So we're sitting on a lot of water there. And we could get it up to tank 6 quick, but from there up, it's a very slow process. So we not only got a second pump going in booster station 3, we got a second pump going in booster station 6 and in booster station 7. Okay, helped us recover. It's very difficult, the way the antiquated electrical control features are in those booster stations. It's very hard to maintain, have 2 pumps running at the same time. We had crews staying overnight, monitoring the pumps to keep that water going. But, in exposing this vulnerability, I think it also presented an opportunity, and in speaking with our engineer, with Dennis Engineering, Tappan Mahoney, we talked about a situation of, since we are plumbed for 2 pumps, getting everything to where we can utilize those 2 pumps. We get in a situation where we need to move a lot of water up the hill. What can we do? This also leads, I'll try to not detract from that too much, but this also leads into a problem that we have of all these multiple booster stations have different size pumps, okay? So in the work of installing the SCADA and upgrading our electrical components, we want to, we're installing what's called a VFD, a variable frequency drive. What this allows us to do is have a bigger pump in a location, like say we have a 40 horsepower pump. With a VFD, if all we need is to run that pump just to maintain levels, running multiple hours throughout the day, but a lower volume, well, we can run that 40 horsepower pump like it's a 20 horsepower pump. When the time comes that we need to move a lot of water up the hill and quick, we can use that 40 horsepower. The other thing that the VFD allows us to do is standardize our pump sizing. So as opposed to having 2 backup pumps of 5 different sizes, we can have 6 backup pumps of 2 different sizes. This, as we know, we encountered a challenge earlier this summer where we had a pump failing and our backup pump was on the way, and it was a pretty tense situation there for a while. Upgrades such as these, you know, again, when we have something go wrong and it exposes a vulnerability like this, I want you to know that I'm gonna try to act and find a way to address this vulnerability. And something like standardizing our pump sizes and VFDs and so forth and so on is going to be a legitimate cost up front. But again, it's gonna help us eliminate that vulnerability. Okay. Any questions about that situation?
Now, a quick question about, are we gonna drill a new well for Back Basin or?
Yes, we had the bid opening on the 4th. There was one bidder. The bid came in much higher than we expected. There were components in the bid that once we saw the pricing, we feel that there were things that could be done in-house or with local contractors at significant savings. Some of the mobilization costs were tremendous.
All right.
So it will be rebid a week from tomorrow. And with the scope of work slightly changed. Also, one of the challenges was with the scope of work, most drilling contractors don't have the contractor's license required to do the infrastructure work. The pipeline from the well to the pump house, the electrical, so forth and so on. So the bid was done through a general contractor that was licensed and had bonding capabilities to bond it as a general. Happened to be File Construction, the same people doing Tank 7 for us, okay? So we're hoping with the change in scope of work that and granted, File Construction is doing a great job. But if we can negotiate directly with the well driller, we can get the costs down. I will say that I did not get an engineer's estimate on this well. I know that initially the estimate that we were given for the well was from the well driller trying to resolve the pump issue before. He significantly understated that estimate. Because the requirements for a municipal well in an area that has had artesian wells flown, or drilled, they have to kind of contend for that and price for that. So, and it was a drastic understatement of the cost. And I will say that this well is going to cost about $1 million to put in. But it is definitely going to be a well-developed, proper well. The scenario again of asking if the old well could just be drilled out somehow and reutilized. It has way too many issues, for it to be, it wouldn't, as it was operating, it wouldn't be accepted by today's standards. It's a big hit and unfortunately it is our only option for back there. Okay. Progress on, tank 7, the tank is built, painted, coated. We will be starting to fill it with water next week. There will be thank gosh, we got the east side, water system stabilized. The process will involve us, filling the tank all the way to the top, and then there will be a short series of tests, to verify that it's clean. And then it'll be able to be put in service shortly after. There was a discussion about the, fencing for the project. It's spec 6-foot chain link fence. I think everybody's in agreement that we could have something that looks a whole lot better. We have been presented some options of decorative iron fencing with multiple color options. Green and brown probably be the two we would more than likely decide from. We need to probably make a determination on that pretty quick so the fencing contractor can get that fencing ordered because it is 6 to 8 weeks out for that material. It is a powder coated fence, not a material. So that's where we're at on that. Any questions?
Thank you, Carl. Got all the staff reports?
Lucky, were you gonna introduce new staff?
Oh. Guess so.
I can do it, somebody needs to.
Yeah. Well. Councilman. My new staff member right here is Ileana Strickland. She started about a week ago. She's part-time working for us. Works on Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays, but she chose to stay in and watch the meetings today. And she's been very, very helpful. Focusing on HR files initially, organizing them, getting them ready for that paperless system. Should we get somebody to start scanning in? And we're really happy to have her, and she's gonna be a great asset to the team.
Thank you and welcome. All right, any committee reports? We don't have any old business listed, going to new business. I need a motion for discussion action, approve lodgers tax for Art Up Gallery Tour.
Make a motion for discussion action, approve lodgers tax for Art Up Gallery Tour.
Second,
So, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, in your packet is a staff recommendation form. This is a request that was made by, Art Up and approved by the Lodgers Tax Committee. And we just need, final approval from the, council so that we can work on issuing the funds.
all right, any discussion?
Roll call vote on item A. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Councilor Weeks, Councilor Humphrey,
Aye.
Councilor Crane,
Aye.
pass.
All right, next item. I need a motion for discussion action, approve new committee members, the Recreation and Trails Committee. And those individuals are Elliot Rada, Jackie Farmer, and Jenna Pepper.
I'll make a motion for discussion action, approve new committee members to Recreation and Trails Committee. Those members to be Elliot Rhoda, Jackie Farmer, and Jenna Pepper.
Second.
Roll call vote on item B. Councilor Weeks, Councilor Humbert,
Aye.
Councilor Crane,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
pass.
Manager's report.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, thank you very much. First of all, Adam, to answer your question on the property, we are developing workforce housing. It's not low income housing.
Okay.
It is less expensive housing for people who are employed in the Village of Angel Fire.
Thank you.
I don't know that that gives us any guarantees on,
Yeah,
human activity.
Mhm.
But, and also, the entrance into our facility is on the opposite side of the entrance into Zeb's. So even though the facilities are located near each other.
You can just walk right to Zeb's.
I know,
I've been
but
looking, I've
I'm
been
just-
walking the property for 2 weeks.
I'm just saying, you could drive there too.
Yeah.
So people are gonna,
People,
Back out.
it's not illegal to drink alcohol, but it is dangerous in excess.
oh, absolutely. We agree. And by the way, our new employment policy that we're gonna be soon bringing to council is gonna reinstate drug tests and background checks. on
I
all
support
our
that.
staff. So,
Especially with that cannabis in the town.
Exactly.
That's federally illegal.
I just wanted you to know that. I think that Chief Vance was a little humble. He's probably trying to save us some time. So I'm not gonna get into it, but I would ask you to approach him on your time and ask him about how we saved the $400,000 grant for the new fire station. It's a very interesting story. I don't want to get into it now, but it does come down to who you know. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
So I recommend that y'all contact him and ask him about that. It's a very interesting, although could be lengthy story. I will tell you that the management team has already started planning for the upcoming winter. We've already had our first winter planning meeting. We have another one, is it next week or this week? I think it's next week. We have our second meeting, so we're actually trying to be strategic on under what conditions the weather is in, who's gonna be responsible for handling what, and if people don't show up, have plan A and plan B. So that we're hopefully more efficient in clearing both for, commerce, but also for public safety, clearing our roads and making sure that we're able to service the community during extreme winter conditions. Also on the 17th, next week, we're having sexual harassment training. I was requested by legal counsel to invite the council to attend that. It's highly recommended that everyone at the village attend the sexual harassment training at 9 a.m. on the 17th. If you are going to attend, please let me know so I can make sure and let the people doing the training know the exact number of people. It will be at the community center. We'll be conducting it and it's all morning, right? It's 4 hours, I think.
2 classes, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, sir.
Well, I just got notice today that only one person signed up for the afternoon class and they were asking permission to cancel it. So unless we get more people signed up for the afternoon class,
Is it open to village residents signing up?
no, it's only for village employees, sorry.
Can I work for the village?
It's 4-hour block, is that right?
Can you run a shovel?
That's
I
what
can definitely
put
run a shovel.
as a 4-hour,
Nice.
in my calendar. I'll clarify that and get an email out tomorrow on the exact condition, but I do know the legal counsel, based on some of the things that have happened recently, highly recommended that everyone at the village undergo sexual harassment training. And this one's a little bit more than sexual harassment. There's actual other types of harassment covered. But they also did recommend that I invite the council to attend.
And the times on that.
I have a question.
I'm sorry?
I had a question, regarding if we have this equipment here for recording it and having a Zoom, can people attend through Zoom?
Possibly. We'll need to, actually, I'll need you to tell me that.
If the equipment is connected, okay.
It's actually a great idea.
What time do these start, morning and
At
afternoon?
9 a.m.
9 AM to 12 and 1 PM to 4 is the afternoon session, 3-hour classes.
So I could do the afternoon, but not the morning.
Well, I'll let them know tomorrow. Like I said, I got an email today. It said only one person was signed up for the afternoon class.
We can talk offline, but we have people who are on duty, so we planned on rotating our crew 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon.
So maybe they just, cause that email went out where you need to sign up for it. You need to pick a class and I guess people. You didn't get it?
I'm gonna have to verify that I didn't get it, but I don't remember seeing it.
We have to sign some of our people up because they don't have email access.
Okay, good point.
That's in the process.
All right, I'll check on that tomorrow. We will have a special council meeting, Monday morning at 9 AM. To approve the change order for the community center. It's been approved by the mayor, since y'all preferred that date and time, he approved that. While we were in the council meeting. So 9 AM, it'll be a one item. Right now, it's just one item on the agenda, the change order. And basically, we're pushing it because we don't want to have to pay deployment charges again because they're nearing a point where they could leave. And if it's gonna be 2 more weeks, they're not gonna come back, but then that would increase the price. So we're trying to get that done so they can continue to work next week and finish the addition. We're basically adding some aspects to the extension of the building. Instead of it being gravelled, we're gonna put cement in below the overhang to make sure that it's easier to manage during the winter and icy conditions. And that's all I have.
Thank you. This council meeting is